Hey, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing the best of clean beauty. I realized I hadn't done a video like this in quite some time. I've done some annual favorites, but I wanted to make a video just dedicated to clean beauty. If you've been subscribed to me since I first started this channel, I definitely focus mostly on clean beauty. And when I did start my channel, there wasn't a ton of options. But now that the market is very full of different brands that are clean, there's just so many more options to pick through. So I thought this video was even more crucial to make so that you know what's worth it and what's not. So I know that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about clean beauty. The products that I'm sharing, I decided to go off of things that are sold on the detox market, Credo Beauty, and things that are considered clean at Sephora. Each retailer has its own standards, so it's not all the same. It's a really unregulated term, so you could go onto their pages and look at what they allow or not, but that's what I base this on, except for a couple more independent brands. But other than that, I stuck to that criteria. Personally, that's usually the way that I shop clean beauty. Let's not delay any longer and hop right into it. I do have some skin prep products. Not a lot of skincare. I tried to keep it focused on skin prep or else this video would be super long. So I have 3 moisturizing prep options here. My first is a classic. This is also more affordable. This is from the Heritage Store. You can buy this on iHerb, Vitacost, stores like that. I believe they also sell this at Whole Foods. This is super simple. It's just water, glycerin, and rose flower oil. This just helps your skin retain moisture and also absorb products that you put on top of it. Also makes a really great setting spray. It's simple, there's not much else to say about it, but it's a classic and it just works really well. And also if you have sensitive skin, this is a great option. Another mist that is just beautiful under makeup is this. This is actually a new product to me, but I love it so much. I had to put it in this video. This is from Iris and Romeo. This is a new brand to Credo Beauty. It's called the Reset. It's a luminous hydrating serum spray. This is such a unique and innovative product. So it's basically a serum infused into a mist. This is very hydrating. It literally just makes your skin so glowy, plump, and like iridescent. It's just beautiful. Really great to prep for makeup or to use as a setting spray. This mister is also a beautiful mister because it's nice and fine and even, especially if you're using a mist to set your makeup. You don't want anything too strong. This is beautiful. I've just been obsessed with this for skincare and makeup purposes. And then if you want to boost your glow even more, this Ren Clean Skincare Smooth Prep and Plump Essence will do that for you. This is truly plumping. I remember trying their clean canvas primer back when it was like one of the only clean primers on the market. This is a very like sticky, but not sticky, it's slightly tacky. It's a very just juicy essence texture that is, again, beautiful under makeup, does not pill with makeup or other skincare depending on what you combine it with. But I've tried a bunch of different things and it has not pilled on me yet. This literally locks in all your skincare, makes your skin nice and prepped for makeup, and it does have a slight tackiness that helps to grip makeup. All around, such a cool launch from Ren Skincare that I really enjoy. And the one makeup primer I thought was worthy of a mention was the RMS Beauty Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Primer. This is another newer product to me, but I just loved it so much it had to be in this video. I'm not a huge primer person, but this is just my ideal primer because it's kind of like a serum that it looks pink, but it doesn't really have much tint to it. It just gives your skin a little bit of glow, but there's no visible shimmer or glitter in it. There's a lot of products on the market that sort of claim to do this and have a lot of visible sort of chunkiness in it, which can not be great for textured skin. But this I think just works for so many skin types. It's truly just a skincare boosted primer, which is why I love it, because not only does it prep for makeup, but it also is doing good things for your skin. Maybe unlike some other silicone-based primers on the market. Speaking of primers, I had to mention these 2 products. Now, I have to forewarn you that these aren't my personal favorite if my skin is more on the oily side. These I really only recommend if you have dry skin because they can make your makeup look a little bit heavy if you do have more oily skin. So these are reserved for when I have dry skin. This is the Pregame line from Youthforia. Both their protective primer and their skin moisturizing setting spray are really juicy. Like, they actually create a barrier on your skin in a good way if you do have dry skin. This is great if you have extra sensitive skin because it protects your skin from makeup and pollution. Same goes with the setting spray. This mister can be a little bit harsh, so I actually like to use this before makeup. But these combined, if you have sensitive skin that is more dry and you just really need some moisture in your life, these are going to be a great pick. I also wanted to mention a serum that truly makes a difference in how my foundation looks. This is from Deviant, I hope I'm saying that correct, Skincare Essential Hydration Serum to Hydrate and Smooth. This is a beautiful milky serum that is plumping and does not pill under makeup even with all the other products when I combine it with this. It is so soothing and it just again creates that perfect canvas for makeup. Gives me that hydration when I combine this with the other things to lock it all in. My skin looks moisturized and fresh and glowy all day. I actually had dermatitis around my mouth that would not go away, and then I recently started trying this and it actually worked on my dermatitis, which I was not expecting it to. So that's pretty amazing that I've tried a bunch of different things for that and this was the only thing that was able to soothe it and help it heal. And the last two skincare products I want to mention, very important in your skincare prep. Two here, but they're both the same brand. This is the Hero Cosmetics Force Shield line. I've gone through several tubes of this. I have done sponsored videos with them in the past, but this is truly my favorite sunscreen. This is a green tinted one. If you have fair skin, this is the one I recommend. This is one of the only sunscreens I find that is nice and light, especially if you have normal to combo oily skin. That does not increase the oiliness of your skin, especially in the summer if you're sweating a lot like I do. It doesn't contribute to that, so it's a really nice, more sort of satin formula. They just came out with this one. If you have medium to deep skin, this is the Super Bean sunscreen. So this has pearl and apricot pigments. If you have fair skin, avoid this because it does tint your face dark unless you self-tan. But if you have medium to deep skin, this is a really great option because if you're worried about a white cast that this one can sort of have, then I would pick up the orange one. But if you have fair to light skin and you want redness correction, I would go with this one. But they're both really amazing sunscreen formulas. These are both mineral based as well, and I do have a coupon code, I believe, for Hero Cosmetics for 15% off. I will pop it on the screen here, and my discount codes are always in the description below. I also have one for RMS Beauty for 20% off that I will put in the description and on the screen here. If you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your post notifications, which is that little bell that you can click next to my name so you get notified whenever I post a new video so you don't miss it. But we're going to be moving on to what I think is the most difficult category in clean beauty, and that is foundation. It's such a personal subject, but I also hold foundations to a very high standard because I used to use a lot of conventional foundations before my skin got very sensitive. I was so used to such high performance. When I tried clean foundations, I would just not put up with anything that would not wear well. So these two, I've tried a bunch, and these two are just my favorites. Starting with the Kosas Revealer Foundation. This one is basically empty. Not only the formula of this is great, but the shade is as well. If you have fair olive skin like I do, this is a great shade. It's the lightest one, which is very light neutral 100. Whenever I talk about this foundation, I like to mention that it can look a little bit heavy if you have oilier skin, but my way around this is make sure you have a really nice skin prep, all those products that I mentioned, and then you can apply this. If you don't mind using your fingers, rub this into your skin and then go in with a sponge to pick up excess product. It looks so smooth. It gives you the right amount of moisture. Even when my skin is more oily, this just looks beautiful and it does not break down, get cakey, or accentuate texture throughout the day. It's also really great on sensitive skin, and it has SPF 25. Do not count on foundation for SPF protection. It's always just a boost to your already existing protection, so keep that in mind. But I especially love this for summer because it has that extra sunscreen protection and it just looks so beautiful. I'm always very confident and I feel like my skin just looks flawless when I'm wearing this. It is a medium coverage, but it is quite buildable and you could also sheer it out. Now, if you love skincare based foundations, maybe more light coverage if you have more dry skin, this is a luxury foundation, but it is absolutely gorgeous on the skin. One of the most beautiful foundations I've ever tried. This is the Kier Weiss foundation. This shade is too dark for me. It was sort of like my self-tan shade, so I definitely do need a lighter shade. I think the packaging is kind of the con for this. It just doesn't like pick up a lot of product. I usually end up pouring it onto the back of my hand. But this is so extremely lightweight and it does not look like foundation at all. It's kind of like magical how it looks on the skin. It's so undetectable. If that's what you like, I think this would be beautiful for mature skin. A lot of people say that they hate the scent of this, but I think it smells pretty good. Like, it doesn't really like remind me of anything. I just feel like it smells quite natural and nice. I know that's sort of a controversial thing. If you have tried this, let me know what you think of the scent of it. It's not artificially scented, by the way. It just has a natural scent to it. I personally don't mind it and I am very sensitive to scents, but I've heard a lot of people say that, so I thought I would bring it up. This is gorgeous. It is more pricey, but it is so worth it because these are the only two foundations I'm mentioning, so you know it's good. I also only have 2 concealers to mention because it's something I hold to a high standard as well. My skin can be very finicky with concealers. 2 here, one that I like for under the eyes and all over, and then one that I only like for spots. Let's start with that one, which is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I don't like this for under my eyes because it does crease. If you have drier skin, you might really like this for under your eyes, but it's just a little bit too moisturizing for me personally under the eyes. But for blemishes, this is really nice because it is moisturizing. It doesn't accentuate sort of the dryness that spots can have. I have this on my spots now. It offers nice even coverage without being cakey. You let it sit on your skin for a little bit, it also will offer even more coverage. This is a really nice, juicy, again, skincare based formula that's beautiful. It's great in combination with their foundation, and this is one I always reach for spots or face concealing. By the way, I do use the shade 01 in this concealer. I have a bunch of different shades, but I usually just stick with the lightest one. And then my favorite under eye concealer is the Rose Ink. I do also enjoy this one for the face, so it's dual purpose. This is just called their concealer. This is the lightest shade 10. This shade is beautiful for fair olive skin. I've never seen such a light olive tone concealer. It's amazing because it actually is truly brightening under my eyes and matches my skin. This is basically like my perfect color match. If they make a foundation, I really hope they make this shade. It is just super full coverage. It is nice and creamy. It can crease a little bit if you don't set it with a nice powder. Depending on your skin type, I always set this and it lasts really well on me. And the coverage is just unbeatable, especially in clean beauty when things tend to be more light coverage. This just performs like a conventional high-end concealer. Taking a break from the makeup for a second, I did want to mention some tools before we move on. First, I had to mention the Exa Beauty Sponge. This is a beautiful sponge from Exa. I've tried a lot of Exa products and they haven't really like stolen my heart, but they make a really great sponge. This is actually, I believe, infused with charcoal, so it's a little more antimicrobial than your typical sponge. The shape is nice. Mine is dirty because I used it today, but I think this is super soft. It's not like grainy like a lot of sponges can be, so if you're looking for a sponge, this one's a great one. And then for tools, I wanted to mention the Crunchy Beauty brushes. These are absolutely beautiful. They feel so luxurious. So this is the number 2 powder brush. I used this today. It's really big, so you can just like cover your whole face with powder, but it's also super soft and it has like a medium density, which is quite dense for a powder brush. So it actually just really packs things on a nice even level without being too much or too sparse. Sometimes if like powder brushes are too sparse, I feel like they kind of disrupt my makeup when I'm setting it, but this one is beautiful. The handles, you can tell these are just very well made and they're not going to break on you. Very luxurious. And then this is their number 1 foundation brush, which is your classic flat top, again more medium density brush, perfect for foundation. I like this shape again because it doesn't sort of texturize your makeup as you're applying it. If you tried foundation brushes that do that, you know what I'm saying. This one's very even. It goes with basically any formula of foundation that I use it with, and I've just been really loving these brushes from Crunchy. Super high quality. If you're looking for good brushes, check them out. Moving on to setting powders. This one you probably saw coming. I mentioned this in almost all my favorites video, whether it's a clean beauty video or not. The Ilia Fade Into You powder, the most beautiful, truly translucent, especially for fair skin, powder that I've ever tried. It's non-drying. I just love this powder so much. Nothing has ever compared to this. It is so smoothing. Your makeup could look bad and you put this on and it magically makes it look good. It's just a holy grail of mine and it's worth every single cent. Now, if you have more dry skin, the Ilia one has a matte finish. If you want something to add glow or life to your face, the Say Beauty Air Set Powder is a really nice option. This translucent shade to me is not truly translucent and does deepen my skin a tad, but not nearly as bad as some other formulas I've tried. So it's still a pretty good pick in my book. This has a slight shimmer to it, but it's not super detectable on your skin. It just gives you that pretty luminescent glow if you have drier skin and you like a glowier powder. I really like this one, and it's one of the only glowy powders I like for under my eyes as well. I also wanted to give a mention to the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil, but the pressed version, as a great all-around powder. So if you tried the Mineral Veil, you know that the loose version had this peachy tint to it, which does tint my face darker, which is one of my pet peeves for powder. But they came out with this pressed version, which is a truly translucent powder. It looks white, but once you rub it in, it doesn't have any extra color to it. This is lightweight, it's very gentle on the skin. If you just need something to set your face or throw in your bag, this is kind of just a no-brainer. It's simple and it works and it never fails me. Next is another product that always seems to make it into my favorites video, the Alima Pure Foundation. Both the loose and the pressed versions are amazing. If you like powder foundations, I usually use this to boost coverage, but if you like them on your own, the Alima Pure formula is great. They make a bunch of different shades, again, pressed or loose, depending on your preference. They're all good, and again, a classic in clean beauty for sure. Moving on to bronzers, this is another category that I sometimes struggle with because of my skin tone and undertone. Some bronzers just pull way too warm. I do have whole dedicated videos about my favorite fair skin bronzers I will link above. But the first one I want to mention is the Han Cosmetics bronzer. Not this shade specifically. This is Ibiza. I do like this one. This one's a little bit warmer than the one that is my favorite. These are nice and sheer, which is actually why I love them. But their shade, I forget the name of it. It's just their lightest matte bronzer. I believe it's their Malibu bronzer. That sounds really familiar. It's the lightest matte one. It has a really great neutral cool undertone. And again, these are more sheer, so if you have fair skin, that's one of my favorite attributes in a bronzer, because when it's sheer, you're not going to get that super muddy look very easily. You can build it up and slowly develop a nice bronze. So the Malibu shade of this Han Cosmetics bronzer is beautiful. Super simple ingredients, very gentle on the skin. I also wanted to mention the 100% pure Cocoa Pigmented Bronzer, which matches me today. This is the Cocoa Kiss shade. This is another, it's a matte, but it has slight shimmer in it, so I would call it a satin formula. This one is slightly warmer and more pigmented than the Han one, but it's still very, very natural looking, and I love the finish of it. You can tell it just like gives your skin that slight glow. This looks very sun-kissed. I love this packaging. It's very durable feeling, so smooth. You can just tell the quality of these formulas. This was a surprise hit for me, but I absolutely love it. Sticking with 100% pure and moving on to blushes, I wanted to mention their Fruit Pigmented Blush Powder in Chiffon. They have many different shades. This is one of my favorites. It's a similar shade to the bronzer. Well, not a similar shade, a similar finish, because it has a matte base to it, but it has slight shimmer particles in it that give you this soft airbrush glow. Like, see that shine? These are so blendable. They melt into your skin. Very beginner friendly. It never looks too clownish or too much. Even if you accidentally put on too much of it, you can easily blend it out, and I love this shade. It's a nice like mid-tone cool pink. For a cream blush, I think the Rose Inc cream blushes are very beautiful. This is the Heliotrope shade. The packaging is very high quality and gorgeous. This shade is a little bit of like a neutral warmer pink, which is not my usual go-to, but I really like these cream formulas because they're like dewy and slightly tacky, but they don't like get oily or break down your makeup. So if you have more oily skin, these are a really great pick if you still want something that's cream but long wearing. Again, they have a lot of different shades. This is a really gorgeous satin shade, so it has that slight shimmer in it to give you a glow. Looks very natural and just goes with basically any look as well. Next is my current blush obsession. If you want to be glowing, the RMS Beauty blush, the French Rose. This is the Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. This is refillable packaging, by the way. I have this on my cheeks today. It just gives you the prettiest glow. I cannot say enough good things about this formula. First off, the pigment is there, and it's like a baked shimmery formula, but the shimmer is so fine that you can't really see it on your cheeks. It's like a blush and highlight in one. I just love the dimension it gives to your face. I understand the name Hydra Dimension, or is it Redimension Hydra Powder Blush? Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. It's like after you powder your face and you want to add that dimension back in. These are gorgeous. I'm totally planning on picking up some more shades of these. It's been one of my favorite products that I've tried as of recently. Another cream product mentioned, they have this in a lot of different shades. It could be a contour bronzer blush, kind of whatever you want it to be. This is from Rituel de Fille, which is such a unique, like, celestial brand. Their packaging, they have such a unique brand vibe, and it also transfers into their makeup that they make. The shades that they make, the finishes that they make are totally something that I've never seen any other brand do. This may look kind of basic, but their formulas are beautiful. This is the Lust Inner Glow Cream Pigment. You can use this anywhere you want. I really like this muted, like, plummy wine shade. They also make beautiful highlights. I really recommend any of their cream products. These are a true matte cream. You can sheer them out, you can build them up. Actually, this is not a matte. It has a slight shimmer to it, but it is so subtle. It doesn't look like shimmer at all on your face. This, I think, is a really universal, flattering shade. You just really can't go wrong with these, especially if you love cream products. They're so unique, beautiful, really worth it. My cream highlight pick would be from Westman Atelier. This is the Lit Up Highlight Stick. I know that this brand is expensive. This is one of my favorite products from them. It's really hard to find a highlight shade with fair skin that doesn't cast dark when you sort of turn your head. So this is why I love the shade so much. And the formula, if you like very, like, shiny, shimmery, but not overtly shimmery creams, you're gonna love this. This just makes you literally look angelic, especially if you have cool undertones. This has a purple shift to it, and it's just super unique. And it does have more of an oily finish, but not too oily. If you have dry skin, I would recommend this one more. If you have super oily skin, this might be something that you might want to, like, set with another product, or just be more careful if you have oily skin. But the shade is unbeatable. It's so unique. It makes you literally look like a glowing angel. And then another good cream highlight pick. This one is slightly less oily than the Westman Atelier. This is from Merit Beauty, another really great shade. This is called Kava. Both of these are pretty, like, sheer based highlights, which I think makes them great for fair skin. But you can tell this one has a slightly more champagne undertone versus the Westman Atelier one, which is more purple. Like, it's almost invisible on my skin, which is kind of what I want in a highlight. But it does add that very juicy glow to it. It has more of a, like, satiny oil feel to it versus the Westman Atelier, which is like straight up dewy oil. I'm making the Westman Atelier one sound bad, but I do really enjoy it. I'm just trying to describe the cream formulas in a way that you can sort of get what I'm putting down. But yeah, Merit Beauty, this is a really good pick from them. Now for my favorite powder highlight, it would be the Bare Minerals Endless Glow Highlighter. They have various shades of these. This one is my favorite, which is Whimsy. I have this on heavily today. It has a white base to it. Again, really great for fair skin. And then it has that purple shift. Can you tell? I just love, like, these purpley, cool tone based highlights, just because they never cast on my skin and they just match my undertones a lot better. This is just one of those, like, majestic purple shades. I feel like not enough brands make highlights with this undertone. This highlight, by the way, is also very finely milled. It doesn't have chunky glitter at all. I definitely prefer more of a subtle highlight with very fine shimmer. If you are like me and you like highlights like that, this is definitely a good formula to try out. Again, they have different shades depending on what kind of undertone you like. They have your classic champagne. They have this really cool like coral pink one and more like medium bronze gold shades. Classic, like doesn't look super exciting, but when you put it on, it's very gorgeous. Moving into our eye category, I will start with brows. I have two products here that are my ride or dies. The Kosas Brow Pop line is amazing. The Brow Pop pencil is perfect. It's that perfect formula where it's not too dry and not too wet, so it's very workable. It doesn't flake or crumble, and it's very long lasting. And they also have great taupe blonde sort of eyebrow shades. And then to top it off, the Air Brow Gel. I like the clear one. I just personally don't like tinted brow gels, but if you do like that, they have a tinted formula as well. This also has that perfect in-between amount of hold where it holds your brows, but it's not too crunchy, but it also doesn't have them fall down on you. So it's just perfect. Not much else to say about it, but they kind of nailed this line. In terms of pencil eyeliners, I have two here to mention. For a matte formula, they do also make metallics of this, so I'd actually recommend both. But this is the Bare Minerals, Mineralist eyeliners. This one's in the shade Topaz. So extremely creamy and long wearing. It's one that you can smudge out, like you have time to work with it. See how evenly it smudges? But once it dries, they do not smudge. So they're also really great for the waterline if you want something that is long lasting. They do make a lot of beautiful colors. And then if you want something a little more glamorous, the Victoria Beckham Kajal liners. These are so freaking pretty. What shade is this? I believe this is the rose gold shade. Okay, this is the copper shade, which is one of their newer ones. So this is more of a metallic formula, but it's also one that you can easily blend out into a smoky look. But once it sets, it's not moving. Victoria Beckham makes these liners in such unique, metallic, dynamic shades. If you're really looking for something unique, I would check this formula out. For mascara, it has to be the Ilia mascara, not this one though. Do not buy this one. I just did not have the original formula on hand. But the original Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara is one of those just ride or die products. I've been using it for years. I am going through my other mascaras at the moment, but that one is beautiful. It's lengthening, it's separating, it does not smudge, does not flake, checks every single box for a great mascara. This one, on the other hand, does not do great, so avoid this one. I guess it was kind of a best and worst in this category as well. Stick with the original formula and you'll be happy. And then I think a runner-up would be the Caloray Come Hell or High Water Mascara. I think this is actually a tubing formula, but this is very voluminizing, thickening, but also separating and doesn't get super chunky looking. It can pick up extra product, which is my one con with it, is I feel like you do have to remove a lot of the excess, but it's very dramatic and will give you more of that like glamorous type of lash look. If you're into that, something a little more dramatic, I think this one's great. Into the eyeshadow category, a lot of fun stuff here. I'm going to start with my single eyeshadows. First, the Chantecaille. This is the Rose Gold Eye Single. It has the little zebra on it. This is as beautiful as it looks in the pan. I just did a swatch video including this. If you want to see the swatch, I will link it in the info card, or you could just see what my last video was. I swatched this along with all of my other single eyeshadows, and it's truly a beautiful, true rose gold shade. The metallic is so smooth. I don't even know like how they make these formulas so smooth looking, but it's amazing. And then another favorite that was also in that video is the Victoria Beckham Lid Lusters. This shade specifically, which is Mirror, has so much pigment to it. It's a really unique, cool toned grayish silver. Can be flattering on a lot of different skin tones. You just want like that smoky, alluring type of look, I would definitely check out these pressed pigments. There's a bunch of different shades to choose from. Again, Victoria Beckham makes just very unique, glamorous type of shades. This one's my favorite personally. And this was also in that video. This is the Ritual de Fille Cygnus Eye Soot. This is a cream shadow. You need to go see the swatch of this because it's unreal compared to everything else I swatched. It was like the #1 standout of how unique it was because it has a red base, but it has a blue shift to it, and it looks so wet and dewy on your eyes, but it doesn't feel super heavy. They did update this packaging to be larger, which is great. But again, Ritual de Fille is such a unique and cool brand. And then finally, the RMS Beauty eye lights are another great cream shadow mention. I love this shade Strobe. It's like a muted taupe. They make a lot of great cool tone shades in this formula. This has more of a smooth metallic. It's not as wet looking, but it does dry down to like a powdery finish. So if you want a cream eyeshadow that sort of performs more like a powdered eyeshadow, these are a really good one to check out. They do give you enough time to work with them, but they do set down and give you that lasting power. For eyeshadow palettes, if you're looking for a neutral everyday palette that is on the warm side, this is the Jane Iredale Pure Pressed Eyeshadow Palette in Naturally Matte. These are all matte shades. This one has a little bit of shimmer in it, but the rest of them are like truly matte. They do have other colorways of this depending on what you like to use on the everyday basis, but it just has everything you need. It has a light cream, pink, warm browns, and then deeper browns that you can use for a more intense look or as an eyeliner. This packaging is also really nice. Comes with a really like high quality sized mirror. It's a classic, just like basic makeup item that is one of my favorites. Now, if you're looking to dive into some more fun products, the PYT Beauty, this is the Party in the Nude eyeshadow palette. In this palette, you get a lot of fun matte shades. You also get these pretty glitter shades. So I will say both the matte and the shimmers, they're more on the sheer wash of color side of things. So if you want things that are more workable, it's not gonna be super intense at first. I think these are great, really good beginner option as well because they're not packed with pigment. They just have just enough to be smooth and blendable. And then another fun mention, they have many different colorways of this, but this is from Play Beauty. These are recyclable packaging eyeshadow palettes, so they're made out of paper. This is the Modern Muse one, which I think is my personal favorite because it has this very classic muted purpley mauve colorway to it. I mean, you could just create so many looks from natural to more glamorous nighttime. And then these two shimmers are very pretty. Again, they're a little bit more sheer. So this one is actually, I would say, similar to a glitter shade. I mean, it really does pack like that shiny look to it. And then the gold one is a little bit more subdued, but still very shiny, less pigmented than a very super creamy metallic. Another good beginner palette, and it's super versatile. They make tons of other shades, including neutrals if you wanted to make this one of your neutral palettes. Our last category is lips, which I have tons of products. I feel like Clean Beauty like really excels in the lip category. I have two lip liners. First is the House of Sillage lip liners. They have so many great shades of this. My favorite is this taupe shade, which I'm wearing today. It is a true cool tone taupe, which is great for contouring. And then another good one is the Thrive Cosmetics lip liners. These are more if you like the twist up formula. These do not budge, but they're still very creamy and have a high amount of pigment. This is the Gizian shade. I hope I'm saying that one correctly. I do also have this one on combined with the House of Sillage one. I might be saying House of Sillage wrong. If that's French, it's probably House of Sillage. I don't know. You can correct me in the comments. There's a lot of great lipstick options in Clean Beauty. I will start with my favorite pink neutral. This is from Merit Beauty, the baby shade. I also like the 1990 shade. If you like a really creamy lipstick, then you're gonna love this formula. They also nailed this pink because it doesn't pull too warm on my skin tone, which is that perfect neutral pink. They do make a bit of a warmer nude as well if you have more warm undertones, but this one's my personal favorite. It does wear off because it's a creamy lip, but that's what I expect with a creamy lip formula. I just love the pigmentation level and they apply like so smoothly and flawlessly. If you're looking for some more bold colors or even neutrals, if you just want something a little more luxurious, the Kjaer Weis lipsticks, they're so stunning. These tubes are nice and heavy. They just like feel very, very luxurious. This is the Fearless shade. If you're looking for a very pigmented, cool tone red, this is gonna be your girl right here. It's a very blue-based red. This actually reminds me of MAC Ruby Woo. I feel like this is almost like a complete dupe for it. I don't have Ruby Woo on hand, but it has so much blue in it. So if you have cool tone skin, or if you're just looking for that perfect cool tone cherry red, this is it. And it's not only the packaging that is luxurious, the formulas are also very luxurious feeling. There is such a high level of pigment in it, and it has like a slight sheen to it, but they just stay on your lips for a really long time, even pigmentation, and it's not gonna sort of like bleed out on your lips. My other favorite red is this liquid lip formula from Honest Beauty. This is the Love shade, which is another very great blue-based red if you're looking for that. You can tell it's slightly more like neutral than the Kir Weiss one, which kind of almost pulls like a berry shade, but these don't dry down completely like regular liquid lips. They leave a little bit of moisture on your lips, which is one of my favorite things about them, because they don't end up looking crusty or like flaky, but they still offer the same staying power as an original liquid lip formula. These are super innovative. I also really like the BFF shade for more of a neutral one. These you can find on Amazon, Target. They're really worth checking out. It's another classic product that I've loved for years in the clean beauty space. And then a newer product to me that I thought was worth the mention is from Crunchy. These are the Everlux lip crayons. I have this one. I don't know what shade this is, but it's a really pretty, I think it's like called something rose. This is another great neutral for me. It's slightly more sheer than the other formulas, but this is also great to touch up. I just love the like pencil format because it's so easy to get a more precise line with it. And I love this cool toned pinky rose shade. It's perfect classic pink nude in my opinion. And then I think the Ilia lipstick formulas are worth mentioning. This is the shade Amber Light, which is one of their classic shades, another nude. This one does have a slight warmer neutral undertones compared to these two. If you have true cooled skin, I would stick with the top two, but if you feel like you pull off more of like neutral warmth, then Amber Light is a great option, but they do make these in a bunch of other shades. It's another lipstick that's smoothly pigmented, offers a lot of pigment, and stays on the lips for a really great amount of time without drying them out. Now into lip balm slash lip treatment types of formulas. I have a lot of them, and then I have 3 lip glosses to mention. But let's start with the Juice Beauty. These are called their liquid lips, but they're kind of just like a balmy, it's so indescribable. This is not my favorite shade. It's definitely too warm for me. I lost my favorite shade of this, but they're kind of like a pigmented gloss, but they have a balmy consistency, so they like stay on your lips really well. I was using the purple shade. I forget the name of it. I will have to link it. Like, it gives you that shine, but the pigment of a lipstick, very unique, hard to describe, but worth trying out. The Ilia tinted lip conditioners are also great. This is the shade Lullaby. These are more sheer, super easy to throw in your bag and just put on your lips if you want something moisturizing, but gives nice even coverage. You don't have to like work with it a ton. They're easy, they're simple, they're great for a reason. If you want something that's liquid with more pigment, the Fit Glow Beauty, the lip color serums are great. They're highly rated for a reason. This one is the shade Dahlia, which is this fun purple shade. Again, kind of like an indescribable formula where it's a hybrid between a lipstick and a lip balm that really hydrate your lips but also give you color. I really like the scent of these. They feel so smooth and give you like that nice barrier on your lips, but not in an oily way. Another good tinted lip balm is from Sochi. I did a swatch video on these. This one is the shade Just Right. These are so shiny and moisturizing. They kind of have the most pigment out of the other tinted lip conditioners. They also smell so good and fruity. Super simple, moisturizing. Again, a great product for your bag. And then a liquid lip balm formula that I'm obsessed with is the Caloray. These are the glazed and infused glassy lip trips. Again, it's sort of like a lip gloss, lip balm formula. I really love this purple shade. You know me and my purples. Here's it down here. You can tell it is the glossiest out of everything, so it gives you more of a lip gloss finish with a lip balm feel. And then the Merit Beauty tinted lip oils. These are gorgeous if you want more of a true lip oil consistency. So they are thinner and they do wear off easier. I don't know why I decided to swatch it like right in my finger crevice. Let's start over. Put it down here, I guess. This is the shade Falcon. Again, really unique shades. I love just a true neutral brown. This would be great on medium to deep skin as well. So offers that shine in more of a thin, oily consistency formula. And then 2 lip glosses that don't feel like lip glosses but give you that ultra shine. Tower 28 lip jellies. These are a classic. They don't really need a ton of explanation. They are more on the sheer side. This one is the shade Fearless, which is their purple. You can wear them on their own or put them on top of lipsticks. They're very, very smooth and balmy feeling, not sticky at all. And then a similar formula, but a bit of a longer wearing lip gloss, I guess. They just don't really feel like a lip gloss. It's more of a lip treatment. This is the Wet Lip Oil in Jellyfish. It's called an oil, but it doesn't have an oil consistency. You really can't see this shade on my hand because it's basically clear. But these are another classic in my collection. The red one's really pretty. They come out with some limited edition shades around the holidays. If you ask me what's just like a great balmy but shiny lip product, this is one of my top picks.